From the top rope, this is the Squared Circus.
Square! Ah! That's the occult phenomenon. You know what I think?
Recording in progress.
I realize I like paint.
That was a botch. Hold on.
So, anyway, that's how it's gonna go.
Nobody watched Dynamite this week.
Was the ratings that low?
I heard the ratings were low. I didn't see what they were, but I can look it up while you complain about it.
Well, I personally didn't watch it, but like when I saw the card, I was like, well, this is a bunch of throwaway matches. And it seemed like it was a bunch of promos of all of the same people. So I already know, like, okay, you're going to have a good promo with MGF. That's fine. You're going to have a good... I even heard through, like, the articles that Mox didn't even seem like he was into it. Like, it just seemed like everyone was just kind of like, okay. You know, like...
The average was 818,000 viewers, which is...
Oh, that's a lot lower.
Not great.
No. Well, it's a go-home show. They normally don't really know what to do.
They should, you know what? They should call it a stay-home show because save your money.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of people did. Apparently, the place wasn't even half sold.
It just sucks.
You didn't even watch it.
I know.
We were gonna come and talk about it,
and it's funny too because I came home and I'm like, I was home. I saw 8 o'clock come around and I'm like, you know what? I just didn't. For some reason, I was like, this is not going to be that good. And I'm normally not like that. What?
I mean, it was fine. Like, the thing is, a lot of times it's not even that bad, but it's just like, who cares? You know? Especially these quote unquote go home shows, like you said, like it feels like AEW. And WWE was like this a lot, just doesn't know how to do the go home show. It's filler. Like, they don't want to do anything that's going to, like, you know, mess up what's happening on the upcoming pay-per-view. But they're like, they still have 2 hours to fill and they want to get as many people on TV as are going to be at the pay-per-view to try and hype it up, but they don't have anything for them to do. Because if you put them in like an enhancement match, then it's like, well, who cares? And then they don't have people that want to have lose to them, and it all just feels like filler.
I will say that with all the promos, it probably is because they don't want to take any chances of them getting hurt before the maybe that's it too.
Yeah,
you know.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have a problem. Like, most of the time, the promos are cool.
How was Saraya and Britt? Did they have another good promo?
They did separate promos. They did individual promos, like, you know, sit down. It was okay. They both did. I mean, it was the continuation of the last one. It was not necessary. Britt did a super babyface promo.
Oh, really?
Very, very babyface. Yeah, like almost unrecognizable from her usual character. Yeah, just putting over the promotion and, you know, talking about all the hard work and they're doing it for the fans and how they helped, you know, people get through the pandemic and all that stuff. And yeah, weird. But anyway.
I heard too, MGF had a promo, like he was talking, not a promo, but he was talking after when they stopped recording. And actually that got more articles and people talking about it than anything else. I don't know.
Well, it's because It's because he kind of talked about CM Punk or alluded to CM Punk.
Yeah, he kind of like, but as well though, is after he's saying that, like, it seemed like he has a lot of babyface shit going on for him. So that's why it's interesting to see what's still what's going on. Mox is ready for his vacation because obviously he doesn't even know what day the event is because he kept on going Saturday or Sunday because it's Saturday, right? Like, I thought that was pretty good though.
I liked it. I thought it was, I don't know, amusing. People shit on it too much. I didn't think it was bad. I think listen, all these promos were just like one promo too many.
Yeah. Well,
you know, the pay-per-view should have been last Saturday, and it would have been better.
I honestly believe Mox needs to go away for a little bit anyway, even just vacation, because he's been doing so much, and they'll make him fresh again. So, but I'm curious to see what happens. I know a lot of people are still saying that Regal is turning, because now that I'm seeing the articles, everyone's saying that like Regal is probably going to turn on Mox, but I don't know what that would leave with the black bean onion dip people.
Yeah.
And isn't
they still had like a Blackpool match that was still very in line. Like the opening match, I think it was the opening match, was like Danielson and Claudio versus the JAS people, Jericho and Sammy.
Well, that's
And
typical though. They've been doing that constantly.
again, unnecessary fucking match. Like it was a
Yeah.
good match, but like there was no reason for it. It was just an extra match. Like this week was just an extra week. The pay-per-view could have been this previous Saturday and everything would have made more sense. It was just one extra thing that wasn't necessary for all the angles. You know, even the Acclaim shit, like they claimed had like a music video that was
didn't
fine.
Didn't Big Show appear with
He did the Captain Insano thing.
Yeah, Captain Insano.
Which
I heard about that.
It was cool. Like everything about it was cool. And then the match, there was like Bowens versus Swerve, which was a good match. And Swerve won clean for the most part.
At least that makes sense though, because like they're having a match. This, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like totally out of the park.
That made the most sense. The only other thing that ostensibly made sense, I don't agree with how it turned out, but was like the Eliminator tournament match, only because it culminates this Saturday, so they have to have the match Wednesday. Ethan fucking Page won.
Of course.
And this was the dumbest. So, okay, now we're talking about this. Because of all the pointless shit on here, the one thing that they actually did that they had to do was an eliminator match. I like Ethan Page. I think he's a good wrestler. I think he's a good promo. The way they're booking him in this makes me never want to fucking see him again. There's no reason Ethan Page should be beating Eddie Kingston. And then, like, what, 4 days after Bandito officially signed or whatever, he loses?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
What the fuck? That was there's no reason, and you know what it's gonna be. You fucking know what it's gonna be, and this is what makes it even worse. It's gonna be Ethan Page versus Brian Cage at the pay-per-view because all of a sudden some idiot thinks this guy needs a fucking push, and it's gonna be a garbage match. Brian Cage is gonna win.
Yeah,
and he's gonna be the number one contender, and I'm not gonna want to watch that match.
And this is for for what belt?
For the fucking big one, the heavyweight belt.
Oh, he won't be.
No, it's for number one contender.
Yeah, but he won't beat MJF.
He won't beat MJF, but he shouldn't even be there. Bandito would be great. Almost anybody else in this fucking tournament would have been good. Roosh would have been good. Eddie would have been good. None of the people they have left would be any good. Ricky Starks would be good. Ricky Starks would be good. Ricky Starks is going to be on Friday. They had to move the match. It was supposed to be on Wednesday. I think it was Ricky Starks versus Lance Archer. And that would have made this a much better show. That one match would have made this a better show. Because if we assume Ricky Starks is going to be Archer, and then the winner of that,
they're running out of time because it's Saturday. So what? Wait. So how are they doing that?
I don't remember. They must be doing the winner on. I think it might be a pre-show thing. I forget. I looked it up. It didn't make sense to me. It was like a name of a thing I didn't know. I think it might be the pre-show or after Rampage. After Rampage, they're doing like a Road to All Out or a Road to Full Gear thing. So maybe that'll be part of it.
That's too much because you know damn well this pay-per-view is going to be a long ass fucking pay-per-view.
Too fucking long.
One thing I would like to add way back to when we were talking about the Brian and Claudio. I heard that it's cool that like Brian is still coming through the heel side. I don't know if you noticed that, but he still comes through the heel side, and Claudio comes through the face side.
I didn't notice that. He's coming through the heel tunnel.
Yeah, so I read that saying that he's still coming through the heel side because he pretty much never turned face. So I thought that was kind of interesting because I didn't even notice that either until someone pointed it out.
Interesting.
I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I'm curious to see where that goes.
This is a little aside too. Have they ever done a faction that's like mixed heels and baby faces? I think it could work.
It could probably. Well, I mean, I highly doubt that MJF is losing. So, I mean, it could work because MJF is really not a baby face. He's really not a heel either, though. I tell you what, though, he must got paid a lot because he is gun ho for Tony Khan and everything now. Like he
Yeah.
seems like he's trying to put it like
I didn't
he must have got paid really well.
I didn't see the whole after the cameras went off promo. The video I watched was pretty short, so I think there was more to it than what I saw. But he kind of buried CM Punk without saying his name, and he put over Tony Khan big, but he also put over WWE. Apparently,
Yeah. Well,
I didn't see that part.
He said it the right way because from what and again, I'm just only going by memory of what I read, is that but it was almost like towards where you need both companies, and because of Tony Khan is the reason why everyone is making more money, because so you needed that, and it's true.
That's good.
Like you can't have a monopoly, otherwise it's just not. That's why, regardless of what people say about AEW, if it's bad, good, this, not, if they hate them, you need that. Otherwise, WWE wouldn't have a fucking push up their ass. None of this shit would have happened. They wouldn't take a turn and try to do all this shit. So they each other need each other. It's almost the same thing like Apple and Samsung.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying it's like because you need each other to.
It's like Standard Oil.
Yeah. No, I'm serious. So like I'm actually.
I'm half being serious, joking, but like I think that was the whole big monopoly thing when they broke up the monopolies like 120 years ago, whatever.
Yeah. but like you need that. So like I feel like Khan did a lot for a lot of people, not even just WWE, but all these corporations. So even though we dog it, and I still think that somewhat is semi boring right now.
Technically, AEW is not a corporation, but we'll leave that
Sorry,
aside.
You know what I'm talking about. But the fact is, since they've been around, I think it helped out all of them. You wouldn't have this whole New Japan in them, these mixtures. You wouldn't have look how bad Impact. Like I feel like all of them now have a more of a say and more of a boost because of AEW.
Yeah, I'm sure Nick Aldis got a much higher paycheck from NWA because he was being recruited by AEW, and they wanted to keep him in NWA because he was their marquee guy.
So it's
this is a massive tangent. I agree with you.
Well,
but
the
point of this is like the biggest thing on this episode was the MJF promo that is sending us off on this tangent right now, right?
Which is the same exact promo he did. No,
well, no, I'm talking about the after promo.
Oh, yes.
The one we're talking about now where he's putting AEW over and putting Tony Khan over. That was the biggest thing. It wasn't even on TV.
Yeah, that made no sense. A lot of people said that, like, it's so funny how that most of the because when I looked at the articles and I was just seeing who won and whatever, I did watch the MGF promo. I mean, he's always good, and I just read about certain things. It didn't seem like the grades were even that well, besides the promo. So that's I guess I realized the go home shows they're not really good at. Like you said, WWE's not really good at them. They probably were just worried that they don't want to get anyone hurt because they don't wrestle that much. So like I say, screw it, just talk. And what do you do? What really do you do?
Do something else then. Give somebody else some camera time. Like if you're not gonna do stuff that is of any value, then you've got a roster full of like 250 people. You can't put a couple of people on TV just to kind of tease what's going to happen next, right? I'm guessing next Wednesday is going to be good because this has been the pattern with AEW, right? Mm-hmm. Leading up to pay-per-views, they don't know what the fuck to do. It happened leading up to Forbidden Door for I think 2 or 3 weeks leading up to Forbidden Door. They were just like, well, we're out of stuff. It just felt like they didn't know what to do. What was the previous one? Was All Out. Like the closer they got, the less it seemed that they had to put on TV, the less of substance and anything interesting. And now this go home show was just half of it, more than half of it was a waste of time. But then they kind of get it back the following week.
Okay. So
right?
I just looked up. Yeah. This is
do something. Do something that leads up to next week.
Something. I get what they were trying to do with the whole black shit bean crap with the against Jericho and Sammy, but the thing because apparently what the card is like each one is against each other, and I get it. So I guess that makes a little sense, but I just feel
no,
like
the card on
they could have
Saturday
been-
is a 4-way.
That's what I'm saying. They're all against each other.
Oh yeah.
So I guess they tried to say, hey, this is what's going to happen. Tony Storm having a match didn't really meet it because we knew that she was going to win anyway. So gives two of the other girls, put fucking Willow against someone else, and you know, 'cause
Yeah.
she could just do a small promo.
Do something. I mean, at
There's
least
a
if
lot-
you're gonna put somebody in a match like Tony Storm, who is gonna have a championship match on Saturday, give her something of substance. Don't put her in like an enhancement match. Put Willow in there. Somebody who, if Tony Storm wins, it'll still put both people over. It gives Willow a bump, right? Because she'll get the rub from fighting the champion. She'll get on TV, which is like what they need. They need to have her on TV more and have her face in front of the audience more. And it looks better for Tony Storm. It doesn't look like a total throwaway match. It looks like it has some relevance to it because there's this up and coming person instead of like, who do we have left? Oh, the bunny. It was supposed to be the bunny, I guess, and it ended up being Anna and the J. But
the card looks really good though. Besides a few matches of the event.
Saturday.
Oh my god, it does. But like, some of
gonna
them
be
are
good.
like, yeah, it's gonna be good because like I'm just going through now real quick because obviously we know that MJF and Mox is gonna be good. The Claim versus Swerve is probably gonna be good. Tony Storm versus Jimmy Hayter. The Hayter's really good, so I'm hoping that she probably won't win, but that'll be a good match.
That'll be
Then
good.
then you have the 4-way between Chris, Bryan, and Claudio and Samuel, which will probably be a good match.
It'll be good.
Ethan Page versus whoever, he's still going to win. Who gives a fuck unless it's Brian Cage.
I'm over that whole thing. I
yeah,
don't care about
I really
whatever
don't
that
care.
match is. If it's Ricky Starks, I'll be more invested.
Jade
Otherwise,
versus Nyla, which is probably going to be good just because Nyla's been excellent lately.
that'll be good. I think that'll be
Yeah.
good.
Sting and Darby and Jeff and Jay. It's
Jeff Jarrett.
I don't care. Jungle Boy.
It's too. A lot of
and
people have
Luchasaurus,
talked about how that's like, oh, TNA 2010.
Yeah.
Jay Lethal, Sting, and Jeff Jarrett.
And
Jesus.
then we have good old Jungle Boy versus Luchasaurus because we all want to see that again. Death Triangle versus the Elite. What?
That was another thing.
Did they announce that?
They announced it last night. Well, you're not hearing this on a Thursday because we take forever to publish these episodes, but like, yeah, and it was in the most awkward way. It just was not exciting at all. Like, so there was a trios match. I don't even remember who it was against. Oh, I think it was against Dante Martin, or basically Top Flight, Dante and Darius Martin, plus AR Fox, who was cool. I don't know if you remember this guy. I think he's only been on Dark actually so far. He might have been on Rampage once. Old school dude, been around for a while, but really good. Kind of like a well-respected indie guy who's finally getting like some opportunities at like a mainstream push. Well, not really a push, but mainstream exposure. And he was cool to watch. The match wasn't bad. Top Flight's great. AR Fox was cool to watch. The match was fine, but basically it was just there so that Death Triangle could do this promo at the end, where Pac vaguely talks about like, oh, this mystery team is making their big return.
Wow.
Well, if you're going to make your big return against us, you better think twice, blah, 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 because we're not going to go down that easy. And that was okay. We all knew he was talking about, but without ever saying who it was, gave it a little bit of mystery and it made it interesting. But then like 30 seconds later, they show the graphic and it's like, it was a graphic. That was how they announced the Elite.
Jesus Christ.
And I don't know what the right way to do this was. I know what they're doing. The best thing would have been to have them show up on Saturday as a surprise.
Yes, I agree.
What this feels like to me is like we're desperate. We need to buy this because we want people to buy it.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
But we don't know how to announce it, so we're going to do it in this awkward way.
Yeah, because they want the extra power.
I
Absolutely.
don't know why they couldn't. They could have shown up. That would have been
was-
better if they just like appeared. Like they came out of the, all of a sudden, the Young Bucks theme hits or Omega's theme hits
and
and interrupts
honesty,
them. That would have been better. But just having their picture on a graphic, fucking come on.
In all honesty, I don't think that they really did much to get a lot of people to more buys. People are going to buy it or not, or stream it. I don't think just because they announced the Elite, but it does seem like. Of course, my favorite one is the end is Wardlow and Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs.
I don't care. There's nothing I care less about.
I
could only care less if you put Brian Cage in there at the same time.
I will root for Power Hobbs like you wouldn't believe. I would hope he's probably not going to win it, but I hope to God that Hobbs win it.
I'm assuming this is all to put.
Where's Eddie Kingston? I thought Eddie Kingston was
Eddie Kingston's on Friday. I don't think he's going to be on the pay-per-view. There was a brief promo about Eddie Kingston putting over Jun Nakayama, like one of the guys he's fighting on Friday. And, Eddie has this
that's his dream match.
Right. So
yeah,
he did that, and that was cool. Everything Eddie does is good. So that was good. It was very brief, but it was what it had to be. But yeah, it's a bummer he's not part of the pay-per-view, really.
It's a bummer that I gotta watch this in fucking segments.
Yeah, it's gonna be six. It's gonna be 6 fucking hours.
It is because I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 fucking matches. Holy motherfucker!
Oh my god,
that's
we're almost
gonna be insane. Anyway, so just like if this is gonna be 10 hours long, just like the pay-per-view.
I know. How did this happen? Okay, well, I mean, we got our point across. AEW has to learn how to do these go-home shows, or figure out this is part of Tony Khan's scatterbrainness, where they can't figure out how to end all their angles and storylines at the right time, where it's always we have a week or two of filler. Everything that happened was extra this week. The pay-per-view should have been Saturday. Nothing on this episode was necessary. It was all filler.